What's good, YouTube? It is RoboDo here, and we are doing a deck profile on my newest deck that I just recently kind of got to the most complete thing. I'm still waiting on a couple cards to come in the mail, but other than that, let's get into it. This is a Buster Blader deck. It is the stun version. So the first thing you're going to want to do is run 3 of him. He's your main deck. He's the reason why it works. How he works is that you summon him, and then you can pretty much add a Destruction Sword card to the from your deck to the hand. He also has other effects of when he's in the graveyard of finding a way to get him out on the field because he is the whole key. Then you run 3 of the OG Buster Blader. Obviously, the strongest matchup this deck has is Dragons because he gains 500 tap for each Dragon monster your opponent controls are in the graveyard, which is really, really strong. I run 2 Chaos Sorcerers. I'm going to probably sub these out for the BLS Envoy and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, just because they're a lot easier to summon than Chaos Sorcerer. I run 2 Blade Knight as a target for Chaos Sorcerer, as well as he's also a generic rank 4. And he doesn't have a bad effect either. He gains 400 attack if you have low, so it's a pretty strong rank 4 warrior. You run 2 skilled white. It's just another way to get Buster Blader out. Makes it a lot easier. I'm going to even bump this up to 3. The proper, I run 2 Dragon Buster. He is the one that makes it to the point your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. So that's actually really, really strong. 2 Effect Veiler, just to get rid of your opponent's cards that might pose a threat. And I run 1 of each of these. He's like your own dweller, and he is pretty much a domain, where spell and trap cards, and then this is just basic card effects. Monsters cannot activate in your graveyard. And then obviously I only run 1 of him. He's a pretty decent card, but he's only Buster Blader when he's on the field or in the graveyard, so he's not in the hand. And then I run 2 King of Swamps. That's how you get the Dark Paladins without having to run Dark Magicians. For the spells, I run 2 Dark Hole. I do run 2 Polymerizations, I believe. It just helps out. You can't always rely on the Destruction Swordman Fusion to get you through it, so Polymerization helps out a lot. I run 2 Karma, and then I run 2 Destruction Swordman Fusion. He's really good. He can also recycle himself, as well as this is really good if it actually goes through. It's a really rare card to get through. It might even bump it down to 1. 2 Swords of Concealing Light, just to put your opponent's monsters in defense. I got a double summon, a Monster Reborn, Emblem, Swords of Revealing Light, and 1 of 1. Now the card I'm waiting for is actually Flameville Guard, so I do recommend playing it in the deck. I run triple Fiendish Chain. I run double Call of the Hunted. I run double Destruction Sword Flash. I run a Wiretap. I run a Scrap Iron Scarecrow. I run Solemn Warning, and then I finish it off with Destruction Sword Memories. Pretty standard for a Buster Blader deck. Fiendish Chain is probably one of my favorite cards. 1 Dark Paladin. I do run 2 of the main fusion. He's the one that makes the deck tick. New support card we got a few years ago. For those of you that don't know, it must be fusion summon. It cannot be special summoned other ways. The attack. This card cannot attack directly. The card gains 1,000 for each attack and defense for each dragon type monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. Change all dragon type monsters your opponent controls in defense position. Also, dragon type monsters in your opponent's possession cannot activate their effects if this card attacks a defense position monster and inflict battle damage. And then you run 1 Buster Dragon. Just for some XC support, I run Steel Swarm Roach, Scrap Dragon, number 41. I think it's number 41. Hang on, it's blocking the number thing. Yep, number 41. I've only made him a few times. I run Kerrigan. I do run Dante. It actually could help to get the Buster Bladers engraved. 1 Star Liege, because the Blade Knights can actually make him pretty easily. Castel, Genosaurus, Dark Rebellion, Cowboy, Utopia, and Black Rose. So I'm going to show you guys a quick combo that you could really set up a pretty nice lock with this deck. You pretty much only need these 2 cards in the extra deck. Dark Paladin actually could help you guys out in the extra deck too. So put them over here. All you really need for this combo is you need him. I believe it's him. I'm pretty new to running this deck myself, so to set up the lock, I think it's him too. If I remember it correctly, which bear with me here, people. Really, you just need these two cards out. Him you want in defense because he's got 2800. He makes all your opponent's monsters dragons, and he turns all the dragon monsters to defense position. So pretty much, and if you actually do have one of the equip cards out, you can get it to the point where your opponent can't even activate any monster effects. Let me just try to get that one out for you guys. Yeah, if you can equip this to him, your opponent can't activate any spell and traps. So it's actually a really OP effect. And then there's another one. This one is if you can't even, special summon anything from the extra deck. So pretty much that's the most OP thing. Now, most of your combos are going to start with Whelp. And then Whelp can add him. And then you have to find a way to discard him. Which is one of the hard things to do, because getting him in the grave is key. And then you can get him to the grave too. You can just tribute summon him, bring him back. And then you discard this, special summon him back, Synchro, Buster Dragon. And then you can send another one. Let's say you have him in your hand. Send another one, get him back. And then don't forget, you still have, the Buster Blader, the OG Buster Blader in your hand. And then, boom, summon. And then, they all only have to have one dragon. So let's say you have these two. Fusion summon, get him, start the lock. That's all you gotta do. And then now they're stuck in defense position. They can't change their battle position. They're stuck in defense position. They're all dragon, and he's probably way up there now anyway. So this concludes the deck profiles of Robo Dude signing out.